Toastmaster for the last 7 years. He would like to share some of his history here at this club and what being our president for the last 6 months has meant to him, both professionally and personally. Let's welcome former Toastmaster of the Year and our most recent past president, Toastmaster Tim Taylor.
All right. Thank you. Good morning, Toastmasters.
Good morning.
I feel like there's been an enormous weight lifted off my shoulders. Just to let you know, I will not be laconic today. I'll let you know that right up front. I became the president of this august body last July. I'm going to recount for you how my experience has been over the last 6 months, the good, the bad, and what I've gotten out of it. To qualify myself, let me tell you a little bit more about my Toastmaster story. In 2017, when I joined Toastmasters, I was amazed, and I am still amazed at the talent in this room. When I first joined, I thought I was a good speaker until I came in and heard a few other people. Suddenly I felt about this big. And I was like, I got a long way to go. I was intimidated when I gave my first speech, but it was well received. And I hoped maybe, just maybe, one day I'd be as good as Mark Ehlers, Blake Smith, Carmela Bilardo, any of the women in this club. And that made it my goal to really improve my speaking. During my first year, I had lunch with Carson up at the Citrus Club. And while we were sitting there, I received an email from an organization that we use a lot of their software in my company, and they'd heard me speak at something one time, and the guy sent me an email and said, hey, I do these things all over the country, and would you mind coming to speak at one of our events? And I'm sitting there with Carson, and they listed about 10 events all over the United States. And I was like, yeah, I'll probably do one or two of them. And Carson looks at me and he goes, no, you're not going to do one or two of them. You're going to do all of them. And he said, you just wrote a book, you started a consulting practice, all the people that are going to be at those locations are potential clients for you. So I was quite nervous at that moment. Needless to say, with his motivation, I spoke at 8 or 9 of them in the next 12 months. And it helped jumpstart my consulting business. In my second year, when it came time to look for new board members, sorry, Carmelo, executive committee members, I signed up to be VP of membership. If you've never done it, that is a great way to start being on the executive committee. One of the great things I learned about being on the executive committee, one of the things I enjoyed the most was our monthly dinner. If you're on the committee, you get to go to dinner with everybody one Wednesday a month, and it's paid for, which is nice. But also, any member of the club can attend that dinner. One of the things I really enjoyed about it was getting to know a lot of the other members in a much deeper way. And I found that being a club officer really helps in your leadership training. Toastmasters is not just a public speaking group, it's also a leadership training group. A lot of people don't know that. And then a few years went by, I was the membership chairman again another time. And when I did it, it was always fun because I would sit beside the our VP of finance. And you got to know that person really, really well. And I also enjoyed that. About a year ago, I was asked to be president. In fact, Amy White asked me to be president at the first meeting I was here, or second meeting, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. But Carmelo and Carson cornered me one day and said, we want you to run for president. And I was right in the middle of selling my business to my son. And I said, I just cannot do it right now. Emotionally, I am just not there. It is very, very difficult to sell something that you've spent 25 years creating. And it was a bumpy road, but we got there. A few months later, Carmelo caught me after a meeting. He goes, did you sell your business? I said, yes. And that was it. He decided that I was going to run for president. You do not say no to Carmelo. I quickly found out that being president is very different from running my own business. These people do not work for you. They are all volunteers. You cannot order anyone to do anything. You have to lead by example and count on others to help you make decisions that are in the best interest of the club, not the interest of individuals, the best interest of the club. And you only have one vote on the executive committee, and you have no veto power either. So yes, you're the president, but you're only one of 5 or 6 people. During this last 6 months, we had 2 major incidents that's come up in the club that were very, very difficult to handle. But I'm proud of how we handled them. Thanks to some of the senior members on the executive committee who helped me immensely, we kept going back to what Toastmasters International rules are. And that's where you have to start. What are the rules of Toastmasters International? And when you have an incident, you have to follow those rules. You don't let personalities or emotions take control of what is best for the club. That is really, really important. My feeling is they were both handled properly, and when things are done this way, not everybody's going to be happy. And some people are very unhappy about a certain decision, and some people are very happy about that decision. And that's the way it's supposed to be. They say the best negotiation is when both people walk away unhappy. Okay? Not everybody's going to get everything they want. I learned a lot and I grew a lot from those incidents. And they made me be a better leader and much better Toastmaster. Winter Park Toastmasters has made a huge difference in my life. Teaching me a better speaker has only been 50% of it. My favorite part of being a part of this club is the friendships that I've made in here. I didn't know one person when I walked in that door in 2017. Not one person. Garen Sprague, I'd met him, but I didn't really know him. And I now know most of you in this room. Some of you I know very, very well. And they are friendships I know that I will have for a lifetime. I pushed myself to grow beyond my self-made limitations. And one person I have to thank in this club more than any other person. His maturity and professionalism helped me immensely, and without his help during the last 6 months, I don't know where this club would be today. And that person is to my right, Mr. Blake Smith. This club owes a great deal of gratitude to Blake. He has done things that you will never know, but I can tell you that he has held this club together, and especially helping me being a brand new president. I want to thank you all for the opportunity to serve you. It has been one of the pleasures of my life, and it is something that I will do again one day, I'm sure. God bless. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you. There's a phenomenal quote in the movie Scrooge by Bill Murray about volunteers.